All right, hey y'all. I'm going to go over your review and I'm using the whiteboard instead of the document camera because something is going on. The past 2 times I've recorded with the document camera, there has been no audio. So we're just going to use the trusty old whiteboard today. So I hope you have your review with you. The first one, number 1. Okay, I think you can see that. The answer is 1, -1. And number 2 is infinite solutions. So if you got those right, then you can kind of fast forward into the next one. I'm just going to show you 1 and 2 really quickly. So number 1, you have 2x minus 3 and 3x plus y equals 2. You need to put this one in slope-intercept form. So you would subtract 3x from both sides. And then when you graph them, to graph this one, I would start down at 3, and then my slope is 2, so I go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, something like that. And then you would connect. Oops. All right, so now this line, y equals -3x plus 2, I would start up here at 2. And my slope is -3, so I would go down 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. And I can see 1, 2, 3 over 1. I can see that I'm going to intersect right there. So that is the point 1, -1. Now number 2, I'm going to come right here. 2x plus y equals -1 and y equals -2x minus 1. This one's already in slope-intercept form, so I need to subtract 2x from both sides, and I get y equals -2x minus 1. Now, my 2 equations are exactly the same, -2x minus 1. So if you go to graph that, we start at -1, -1, and then my slope is -2, so that means I'm going to go down 2 over 1, or I could go up 2 over 1 the other way. And when I graph, I see that my line is going to be the same. So it's infinite solutions because they're intersecting everywhere. They're intersecting everywhere. All right, number 3. The graph at the right shows the amount of food Abe's dogs eat each week. Write an equation to find the number of pounds Y eaten after any number of weeks. So the number of pounds, so we have 175 and 2 150. So we need to find the slope. We need to find the rate of change. So it's 75 per week. 75 pounds per week. So y equals 75x. Y equals 75x. That's my equation. Number 4. The table shows Sally's cost for physical therapy sessions. Is the function proportional? Now it's not a graph, otherwise we could see it's a straight line through the origin. So we need to check the ratios. So we're going to check the ratios. 65 over 5, 108 over 8, 117 over 9, and 162 over 12. So you would type those into your calculator, and I know this is 13. 108 divided by 8. I don't have my calculator. So when you divide 108 divided by 8, that's going to be 1. 2 will go into 3.5. So they are not equal. It's not proportional because ratios are not equal. Not proportional because the ratios are not equal. Okay, so that's the end of the front. Let's go to the back. Number 5, use the vertical line test to determine if the relation is a function and explain. So number 5, it kind of looks like this. So if you drew a vertical line, it would go right through there. So number 5 is not a function because it fails the vertical line test. It fails the vertical line test. Number 6 is a graph that looks like this. That's also, I think that's either the sine or the cosine function, if you've ever heard of trig, sine, cosine, tangent. This is a vertical line test. I mean, it is a function because if you do a vertical line all through, it only ever touches one time. Once. So yes, it is number 6. yes is the function, it passes the vertical line test. It passes the vertical line test. Okay, we're moving right along. Number 7. Number 7, determine the domain and range for the relation. So looking above, the domain are the x values. So I'm going to put number 7 right here. The domain, remember to do your little set symbol. The domain is going to be 3, 5, and 8. And the range is -9, -7, and 1. It's better to just put them in numerical order. That way the order is for everybody is the same and you're not going, wait, did you include this? It's just better to put it in numerical order. Number 8, is this relation a function? Is this relation a function? And the answer is no. No, not a function, because the domain 5 is mapped to -7 and 1. So that is not a function because 5 has, the domain 5 has 2 ranges. Number 9 and 10, consider the following situation. The grocery store sells apples for $1.67 per pound. Write a function using C and P. So if it's $1.67 per pound, that means you're going to multiply $1.67 per each pound. So the cost is $1.67 per pound. $1.67 per pound. Don't use Y and X, use C and P. Is the function continuous or discrete? We need to look at the domain. The domain is the number of pounds. Can pounds be a decimal or does pounds have to be a whole number? So the answer is it's continuous because pounds can be a decimal. It's continuous. It has nothing to do with $1.67. It has everything to do with the number of pounds. Number 11 is a word problem for system of equations. So I'm going to read it. The talent show committee sold a total 530 tickets. Student tickets cost 3, adults cost 4. If the total receipts were 1,740, how many of each type of tickets were sold? Define your variables, write your equations, interpret your solutions. So you have 3 parts. So number 11, X is going to be student tickets, number of student tickets. Y is going to be number of adult tickets. Okay, so that's me defining my variables. Now I need my 2 equations. Well, we sold a total of 530 tickets. So that means the student tickets plus the adult tickets is 530 total tickets. Then I need to have another equation that has to do with money. Student tickets are $3, adult tickets are $4, and that equals 1,740. So I am not going to graph 1,740, no way. So I'm going to use my calculator. I hope you have a graphing calculator. You have to put these in slope-intercept form. Once you put them in slope-intercept form correctly and you graph it, you get the ordered pair. What's the ordered pair? 380, 150. That's your intersection. And so we need to interpret that. And what that means is 380 student tickets and 150 adult tickets. So on your test, make sure you actually interpret your solution and say what your solution means. Okay, 12 and 13, use the information, determine and interpret the slope and initial value, so 2 parts there, and then write an equation. So 3 parts. Number 12, I have to go back up here. Okay, number 12. Jay adds 12 photos to his album each week. After 8 weeks, there are 120 photos. Assume the relationship is linear. So I can tell he adds 12 photos each week, so that is the slope. And then after 8 weeks, there are 120 photos. So that's my point. So I need to put it in point slope. Y minus 120, whoops, I don't know why I'm putting parentheses, equals 12, x minus 8. Minus 96, you add 120, y equals 12x plus 24. So there's my equation. So now I need to say what the slope and the initial value, and then interpret it. So the slope is 12, and that means 12 photos a week. The initial value is 24, so Jay started with 24 photos. The initial value is what you started with. All right, number 13. Whew. Moving right along. And a historic museum charges a rental fee plus $2 per hour for an audio tour guide. The total cost for 4 hours is $12. Assume the relationship is linear. So my slope is 2 and my point is 412. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it in point slope. There is my equation, because it asked for the equation. Then I need to interpret the slope and the initial value. So 2 is the slope, and that means it's $2 per hour for the audio tour. I don't know. I've done an audio tour maybe once. And then the initial value is 4, and what that means, it's a $4 rental fee. Because it said it in the problem, the museum charges a rental fee plus $2 per hour. All right, so I'm going to kind of slide it over. Here we go. Number 14, we are almost done. I really hope you can hear this. Each concert ticket costs $15. Use this information for exercises 14 through 16. Write a function to represent the total cost of any number of, oops, it says concert and then it says movie. So each ticket, y equals 15x. I did not tell you what variables to use, so you can use y and x. Make a function table for the total cost. This is number 15. So function table 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm picking the domain, 2 tickets, 3 tickets, 4 tickets, 5 tickets, and then you have to plug it in. So I would get 30, 45, 60, 75. And then number 16 says, is it discrete or continuous? So we have to look at the domain. The domain is the x, which stands for the number of tickets. And the number of tickets, can that be a decimal? Are you going to buy a decimal number of tickets? And the answer is no, it is discrete because you can't buy half a ticket. You can't buy half a ticket. It's all, they have to be integers. You could also say it's discrete because it has to be integers. And then number 17, you just have to graph the function and make sure you graph it in dots. Don't connect them because it's not continuous. So make sure your graph has dots only. All right, I know this was fast. I hope it helped, and I hope it helps prepare you for your test.